There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, Algria Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream show and podcast. Consumer Tuesday here on the Good Morning Portugal show. How are you this morning? Thanks for that picture that you just sent in. Did you do that on purpose, Matty? Did you send me the picture just as I was about to go on air and tempt me with downloading a WhatsApp image just as we're about to start the show and see if you could crash it after yesterday's fun and games? That was embarrassing yesterday. Let me just clear up. Well, here's your picture, Matty. Thank you. Look at that. Am I disclosing any confidential information from your workplace there? That's not a bad office, though, mister. That's fantastic. Your view, your workspace this morning. Welcome back to Portugal, my friend. That's lovely there in Pombal, isn't it? Great show lined up for you this morning. It's Consumer Tuesday, talking about mortgages. Jacqueline, the mortgage, Moulen or mortgages from 9 o'clock this morning. And if you want a mortgage in Portugal, let's find out what the impact of the LIBOR rising rate is. If I've put that correctly, you know me, I'm not fiscally gifted or know anything about these things. I do like to ask the professionals, though, if they dare look into the crystal ball, which they never do. But interesting times, spicy times, of course, globally in the world. And we wonder what's happening with mortgage rates in the future. Jacqueline might be able to comment on that as an opinion and let you know how you can get a mortgage here in Portugal from 9 o'clock this morning. And then we've got a superstar in our midst from 9:20. Chuck Wansley is here, who now lives in Portugal, an amazing entertainer. If you like the big band, jazz sound, Chuck is an incredible vocalist. As I say, incredible entertainer. And he joins us from Portugal, central Portugal this morning. So I'm really looking forward to a chat with Chuck. If you like Gregory Porter as well, I noticed that the wonderful show reel that Chuck and Suzanne sent me featured a Gregory Porter cover in the middle there among the classics that are on Chuck's show reel. Actually, let me so you get a taste of what's to come. Check out chuckwansley.net. And that's his website. In fact, I'll show it to you now. Let me just show you quickly on the screen here, Chuck's website, and give you an idea of what's to come later on in the show. Oh, I've frozen myself up doing that. That's no good, is it? Okay, here we go. I think I'm unfrozen again now. Vocalist Chuck Wansley, everybody. .net. Let me bring him onto the screen, and you're going to see him later on in the show from about 9:20, 9:30. Certa, he just played a gig in Certa in Portugal. Isn't that amazing? Has played in Kiev as well, and I'm sure hopes to again. And a gig coming up. Let me see what the gigs to come. I did see this on the. I can ask Chuck later on, can't I? But look at that. The Certa gig, May 21st, with the Orquestra de Jazz Conservatory of Coimbra, featuring Chuck and Músicos das Filarmónicas do Município de Certa. What an amazing gig. We'll find out how that went that'll be last Saturday evening, wouldn't it? Over the weekend anyway. Superb. We'll talk to Chuck. Looking forward to that later on in the show here on Consumer Tuesday on Good Morning Portugal. How's everyone doing? Thank you for all your comments that began this morning when at 7:39. Well done. Deagle is in town. Look at this. Bon dia, Cole. Lovely first day back in Portugal. Alma Santa Pera on the Algarve. Coach Turner will be proud. We hit over 18,500 steps. Just dandering about. Isn't that a lovely phrase? Dandering about. Oh, and news from the prof. Bon dia, pray for me. I'm in Spain. So sorry to hear that. Prof this morning behind the trenches. It's not that bad. Prof, come on. You don't need to get your sandbags and water out. Going over that way. Yes, Deagle, before we move on from you, let's show your pictures and some pictures I've neglected to show from Leiria recently. Do you... What did Doc call it? Doc's with us tomorrow. He called the Leiria Festival the interminable Leiria Festival. I think they've been partying for weeks by the sound of it over in Leiria. Let me show you some pictures before I go to Deagle's pics from Owen, who captured these fireworks at the Leria Festival. Look at this. That's like a face, isn't it? Those fireworks are like a face on the hill, blasting up from the castle there. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. The climax of the Leria Festival. Well, maybe it was just a Saturday night and they continue to party. But superb pictures from Owen. Thank you very much, mate, for those. Look, that face on the hill. That's incredible. Then let's go to what did you call it, Deagle? Armacera de Pera, is it? Forgive me. Let me just scroll back to that so I can get the name absolutely right of where you're staying. Armacão. That's it. Armacão de Pera. What is that? Something to do with pears for sure. What is an Armacão? Could somebody look that up and let us know? It's good for you to look things up. Look up the Portuguese words. And here are Deagle's pictures. T-Duck, stay tuned because you'll like this. What's going on? Oh, and a little video. I'll play the video at the end, Deagle, as well. Look, lovely. There's Armacão de Pera. Lovely sunset. Their first, Mr. and Mrs. McKillen over here in Portugal. Look at that. When you get there, you feel the warm air. Isn't it? I'm sure that's been a lovely feeling for you both. Look at that. It's beautiful. The Algarve, everybody. And T-Duck, look, was this you popping down to the Algarve yesterday? A little duck having a paddle in the swimming pool. How lovely. Be careful swimming in that pool for Treasure Islands, if you know what I mean. And yeah, let me load up that video now and we'll show that later on. Deagle, thank you very much for that. You might have to remind me later on. A lot to fit in this morning. Jacqueline to come, Chuck to come as well. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Yes, Carl, have you filled the PC with coal this morning? Yeah, giving it a good crank this morning. Just to make sure everything's going to work okay. Should we do your today in Portuguese history? I think we will. Do you know what I'm going to do? This morning, I'm going to put on the picture first, and then we'll enjoy the doo-wop national anthem together. You know how it goes. Here it is. Oh, okay. So this today in Portuguese history, a little bit early this morning, but maybe the prof can hear this. He's on the move. Boa viagem, sailor. Today in Portuguese history, 1916. All men between 20 and 45 years of age registered for the draft following Germany's declaration of war in March 1916. Most of the men who fight in France are conscripted farmers from Portugal. Did you know that? Amazing there. Prof, thank you very much for that. Yes, and a very good trip to you, my friend. It's sobering, isn't it? Today in Portuguese history, 1916. Conscripted farmers from Portugal and drafted those between 20 and 45, probably from the Alentejo region, right? And we're going from history to a growing old disgracefully. Tip of the day from Coach Turner. Try gentle strength work, such as press-ups against the wall. I thought he was going to say press-ups full stop. That's not gentle, is it? But against the wall is gentle. And ask permission of anybody you involve in press-ups against the wall. Progress by moving your feet further back. Oh, I see. Then to a table, a chair, and finally the floor. And then elevate your feet higher than your body on the steps. No, only kidding. That's real advanced stuff, isn't it? And then do a few claps maybe and some one-fingered press-ups, Bruce Lee style. But I added those at the end. Please don't do those. Please don't do those. I was only joking. The official advice this morning, press-ups against the wall, progress by moving your feet further back, then to a table. Not your feet. This is your hands go on the table, right? Come on, we need to clarify this, Coach Turner. Otherwise, we're going to have some serious trouble. You're going to get some flaming emails. A chair, and finally the floor. That's where your hands are going, not your feet. Okay, I hope that's clear now. T-Duck's in. Bon dia, alegria, gumpers. And I'll build up. Just as Coach Turner was getting into his flow, T-Duck popped in with a quick bon dia, alegria, gumpers. Build up to 10 reps at each stage. That's what they say in the business. Repetitions, right? Repeats. Build up to 10. It makes me think of pickled onions when I say repeats. 10 reps at each stage, then up to 3 sets of 10 with a rest of 1 to 2 minutes in between. And some of us will need that rest in between. Portuguese sayings then, exercise for the mind and the tongue. Hay muita areia para o meu caminhão. It's too much sand for my truck, obviously. I'm in way over my head. That's a good one. Has anyone used any of these in conversation, in polite conversation? with a Portuguese friend, relative, or neighbor. I'd love to hear how that went. Muito área para o meu caminho. Caminhão, I beg your pardon. And hopefully Mia will be with us to check on a few of these on Friday. And on Thursday, Vitor, our man in the north, will be joining us. That's how the week looks. Oh, yes, I said I'd clean up yesterday's technological disaster. Come back to your Portuguese sayings in just a moment, T-Duck. And all those lovely events I didn't manage to cover. And there's a lot of them, folks. But yeah, if you didn't get your question to Gilda yesterday, don't worry. This Thursday's webinar, 26th of May, from 7:30 to 9, I'll be talking to Gilda everything you need to know about Portugal's D7 visa, the latest info and updates, helping you through the bureaucratic and linguistic barriers. Absolutely, with EA, Assessoria Migrante, EI to you and I, or A with Gilda, which is a much more appropriate time for our American listeners, viewers, and friends. Okay, joining us at 7:30 on Thursday. If you're not able to be up for the Migration Monday that we have on Monday, funnily enough. Now, somebody did say they can't join us because it's 2:30 in the morning, and their boss didn't like it when they slept at their desk. I have been inviting you. Look, the number's on the screen now: 00351 913 590303. Send me a WhatsApp voice note, and you'll be able to hear yourself. When you tune in the evening. No one's done that yet. Come on, please send me somebody. I don't know, stop going on about it. A WhatsApp voice note. What's this? People are sending in their work. Oh, this is good. My workplace. This is a rather risky picture to share, Andrew. Although I suppose it's only 6 weeks to Lisbon and Portugal, right? But look, he's got us on in the office. Can anyone beat this? For a day, Andrew, let me know if I can show this because I don't want to incriminate or put you in any difficulty any more than I have done already. Okay. Oh, and that dad joke I didn't do yesterday. Can somebody cut and paste that, or is this the one from yesterday? Okay, back to the Portuguese sayings. Uma andorinha não faz verão. One swallow does not make a summer. Okay, so that's a global one there, isn't it? We know that one, don't we? I know that one. A swallow, one single swallow does not make a summer. Uma andorinha não faz verão. That's a good one as well, isn't it? Keep that written down on the back of or on your hand so that you can weave that into conversation. And Maria vai como as outras. Maria goes with the others. It's not what you think. It's someone who follows the crowd, is how that translates there. Maria vai como as outras. A good one, another good one there. Where are you getting all of these from? You don't have to answer that, T-Duck. Okay, what did I say? What did I say I was just about to do? Oh, dad joke warning. I owe it to you to play this before we do
Warning.
this.
Warning.
Yes, you have been warned. Dad joke then. I keep... Prof couldn't help but squeeze this in before he went. It's a bit like my innuendo in the mornings, isn't it? Just need to slip one in every now and then. I keep having a recurring dream that I am turning it into a joint of ham. Might go and see the doctor. I hope I can be cured. Ouch. Let's move on then. I want my children to have all the things I couldn't afford. Then I want to move in with them. Phyllis Diller. Fantastic. Great quotes this morning. Thank you very much. An Ayn Rand quote. Oh, should I be doing a trigger warning when I play an Ayn Rand or when I share an Ayn Rand quote? I think I should. The question isn't who is going to let me. It's who is going to stop me. Oh, Ayn Rand. And I'm an early bird and a night owl, so I am wise and have worms. Michael Scott, thank you very much for that. James is here. Bom dia, Gampas. Feliz terça todos. Fancy new backdrop today, I see. What have I done? What's the new backdrop? That wasn't... I think you're looking at... You might be looking at... Matty's, not mine. And Andy, can I show yours? Will Rogers quote of the day. All I know is just what I read in the papers, and that's an alibi for my ignorance. Ooh, what is it? I saw Denzel Washington responding to a reporter. If you don't read the papers, you're uninformed. If you do read the papers, you're misinformed. Oh, Denzel. Bon dia agria then, a todos de Pombal from Matty. And okay, off to sea. He's all at sea, so need to shave. Steady here. Need to shave, shower, and shoot out the door. Very good. See you Thursday. See you then. Bon voyage, sailor. Have a good trip there. Prof. Eusebio, reminded me of the... No, can't do Navy boot camp stuff at this time in the morning, can we? Brian Taylor, bon dia, Gumpers from Brian and Storm. How you doing? And your vertical rotisserie. You see, forever connected in our minds. Baldilocks, Tony's here with an Ulla Gumpers as well. And a shout back from James. Tony! Carl is what? Carl is late today. What, by 1 minute? Come on! Flipping heck, as we say in the north of England. I check your WhatsApp. What's this? Sending messages to each other. But he has been. Look at, I'm having my punctuality monitored. He has been extremely prompt this week so far. Yeah. Monday was a good start. And it's only Tuesday. Nope, was not my intention to crash your show. Just informative. Thank you very much, Matty. It's only kidding when you're there, mate. And Thunder Duck, like in the duck picture in the pool there. Suze, good morning all. Finish. What's this? Printing finished vehicle transfer papers for the sale. Oh, it's a deal. Oh, a collective sigh of relief, I think. Well done, Suze. That's great news. Bon dia, folks. A breezy day today is. And yes, talking of being out with the dogs, I did go out with the dogs this morning. And it was the fresh air was really a tonic this morning. It was so nice. Very lucky to have a roof over our heads, of course. But to get out and about and get a bit of that Silver Coast sea breeze into my lungs this morning felt really good, actually. Chat with Chuck, a nice alliteration. Yes, stay tuned for that around 9:20 this morning. And bon dia from Stephen. How you doing, Stephen? How'd you get on with the phlebotomist yesterday? I think. Speaking of alliteration, reminds me of Navy. Stop it! Tamara Madeline, bon dia. Great show coming since we just bought a house. Todas Vedras, yes! And I got my residency card. Life is so good here in the fabulous Portugal. Excellent stuff! I haven't got a round of applause jingle. I must get one of those. And my Barcelos cockerel has disappeared. You need one of those. I think we can wait for a moment while I load up my Barcelos cockerel for you. I think I can lay my fingers on that right now. But you deserve one of these this morning. Let me see if I can find it. I think I can. A Barcelo award for you. And that great work there for tomorrow this morning. Doesn't that feel good to get one of those in the morning? There you go, especially for you tomorrow. Try explaining that to your friends and family. Yeah, he played me regarding what is this thought of the day, I can imagine the guy who does all of that in one set. Who is that? Is that somebody in our community? Are we talking about those press-ups there? James, a meeting. What's this? Meeting her in. Okay, so this is the deal. Fantastic. Erotic novel entry. We haven't had one of these for a while. He showed off his prowess and stamina, which he learned from Coach Turner. He went from the walls to the floor. See what you've done, Coach Turner. And regarding, we've done that one. Sorry, Jack Polly. Well, hey, Deagle McKinnon. Amazing steps, 18,500 steps. Do you want to talk? Do you want to walk to Portimao? Would be lovely to meet you. Oh, isn't that lovely? A Gumper meetup. Always like to see a Gumper meetup. We'll be doing that ourselves tomorrow on the Silver Coast. And T Duck and I, ace producer DJ Duck. And I are closer to creating the outside broadcast studio, which eventually we will tour around the other meetups and places of interest around Portugal. But we're getting closer. We're getting closer with our outside broadcaster live, and now live from the Silver Coast meetup. DJ Duck and the Munson here coming from the meetup, possibly tomorrow. We might try one tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. That means you can be there, even if you're not on the Silver Coast. You can be anywhere in the world and join us for the meetup. Isn't that fantastic? And when you finally make it in person to the meetup, we can interview you about your journey if you want. Like dance like no one's looking, be interviewed like no one's listening. Bon dia. It's me in the garden with headphones on this lovely morning. Are those plants transferred well? Paul, thank you for letting us do it to you in your ears this morning. Who else is out and about with their Bluetooth headset or whatever? Maybe in the garden. I know some people are at work and tuned in, pretending to be working on a spreadsheet or wherever it is you do. Let us know. What condition are you in this morning? How are you listening to the show? Where are you? Bon dia alegria from Pete as well. That's a very clean greeting from you, Pete. Bon dia alegria from Francis as well. Fantastic. Share it, says Andrew as well. Let me do a few of these events that I didn't manage to do yesterday. Bagrada region, Aveiro district has it. Oh, no, but before we go there, I have to take you to Madeira. Louise tuned into the gardening Q&A yesterday. It was fantastic. It's always a great show. If you're interested in gardening at all, or if you want to get started, if you want to start growing some of your own food, join us Monday evenings, except the first of the month. the first Monday of the month. All the others, we're there answering questions with the leadership of head gardener McGrady. But Louise sent in these pictures of Madeira, where there is the floral festival taking place at the moment. You can have your Chelsea flower show in Madeira. There is this lovely show of florality, which I've just made up that word. Florality, why not? But look at those colors in Madeira. Isn't it so beautiful over there in Madeira? Look at that. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? And the planting, so beautiful. Are they hydrangeas there? It's paradise. And Lee McGrady was saying, yeah, they've got the ideal growing conditions over there in Madeira. Clearly they have. So let's have a look at a few of these events that are going on. Let's whet your appetite. And you'll notice there's a theme here. I'll ask you afterwards, what was the theme? Some of these posters have had red lines put on them, which are, they will be Andy's additions. Okay, so 50 years singing. He doesn't look old enough, the fella in the middle there. Amadeo Mota show. And it's a matinee at 4:30 on the 29th of May in Centro de Samel. Now, I've got to take this banner off so you can see. You might have been excited to go to that, and you'll never find out where it is. So what's going on here? No, you'd have to ask Andy. Get in touch with Andy. I thought I was hiding where the venue was with the banner, but no. A little bit of a teaser, that one, with Amadeo Mota. Let's move on then to the 25th anniversary for the Centro Ecutista Padre Horacio Cura, Jantar nos Barraquinhos. You see, this is the theme that's developing. And at 1 o'clock on the 29th of May, the almoço, a bit of lunch there. That looks like a lovely little tour of that. What is it? What is an Ecutista Centro, I wonder? An eco center? An outdoor pursuit center, something along those lines up in the Barrada. Look at this. Whoa, if you like your tractors. And who doesn't like looking at tractors on their mobile phone, especially if you're a British member of parliament? Paseo de Tratores. It's probably already been and seen this particular bit of publicity. 29th of May, almoço incluido, lunch included, with all the fun of the tractors. You can get a bum ride probably for that. Or at that, and 29th of May from 9 in the morning, and lunch included. You see why Andy goes to all these things. There's some food here as well, I think. Somebody eating a banana anyway. Joao is eating a banana in the bottom right-hand corner. That is, I can't see it all, but it's the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th of May. Coval de Lobo. Lots of fun there for 4 days, from the Quinta to the Domingo there. That looks like a lot of fun, whatever it is. I am working hard to bring you the events section of the Expats Portugal website so that we can get these up on there so that you can savor over them at your leisure. Todos os dias at this Feira do Tremoço, the Bean Festival, the Feira dos Tremoções here, a nice Chianti with those. Well, actually a cold beer. But food, Zumba, football femenino is one of the attractions here. And Le Cercle du Fric, my goodness, look, some top bands here at Cantanhede, everybody. And then I think, are we going north or south? Oh, Mogafores, we're going back south from Cantanhede to Mogafores, which I recommend to you. Mogafores is the most beautiful little village, really, not far from Anadia. It's charming, absolutely charming. Something happening on the 28th of May there at the Pavilion Salesiano. Cantigas de Mayo. What's that? Fado. And the May songs are right there. What's this picture? Who's this? Oh, another. I thought it was some Gumpers. No, not Gumpers. Traditional. In Anca, in Anadia, Cantaras y Romarias, and it's free entry, but with free food as well, I think. Andy, do you ever eat at home? Festa Criança here, free entry. Yeah, free entry or food, I think, is his code for finding events for us. Look at this. Oliveira do Bairro, also worth visiting. The Barrada region, that's where you're going to get your Portuguese fairs, your suckling pig, if you like that sort of thing. We've not finished yet at the lake, Fermentelos, 27th of May to the 5th of June. And Agada, look, you can see it's the place of the umbrellas, the Brollies, Brolly Town in Portugal, central Portugal. So at the lake, Fermentelos, Festa 2022, 27th of May to the 5th of June in Agada. This is a beautiful poster, isn't it? Nossa Senhora Livramento, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th of May. It really is party time in Portugal, certainly in the Bairrada district. Look at this. Almoço Convivio. Paseo de Motorizadas. He's notated these or highlighted them for particular interest here. And a jantar convivo at 8 o'clock, dinner together, as well as lunch together at the Nossa Senora Livramento. And finally, for now, then, Romario de Ascensión. Again, you must go to this. This is beautiful. 26th of May at the Palacio do Busaco. Busaco is incredible. Go to the Busaco Palace Hotel, maybe, and enjoy a night there. It's sister hotel, Korea Palace Hotel, also worthy of a visit and a stay. Oh, here's Andy. Thank you, Andy, for these wonderful posters and events. And this is you at the Auto Jumble. And there's you, I think, same weekend off on a bike tour. I think, did you do 70 kilometers? This is a man growing old disgracefully, for sure. Superb, Andy. Thank you for those. Really, really appreciate those. We will be having Jacqueline join us. Is there anything you want to know about mortgages in Portugal? Jacqueline's your woman, Moulen, on mortgages, or Jacqueline the Mortgage Moulen will be here. She's been to Brazil recently, and we'll find out how she's doing, what Brazil was like at carnival time. Can you believe that? She'll be joining us from around 9 o'clock. And we'll be checking in to see what the rising LIBOR rate might mean for those of you wanting to take out a mortgage here in Portugal. You can get a quote with her in a very straightforward way. We'll find out how to do that with her a little bit later on. Let's go back to your comments then. Okay. Bring the pups, Matty, is one of the comments I can see here. And James is obligatory. Dad! Okay. Maxine is in this morning. How you doing? Asesoria. Okay, asesoria. Okay, asesoria. Thank you, Maxine. Always value that. Asesoria. That was the waiting screen for the show today. Looked like this. What was the waiting screen for the show today, I wonder? A bit nippy for your usual dogging experiences, but breezy, I would say, not nippy. Pam, bon dia. How you doing? How's lovely Alcobaça this morning? Thank you so much for the film I did manage to show yesterday of the folk dancing in Alcobaça. What a fantastic place that is. Do you like Carla's cafe there? Went there for the first time, Pam, the other day. Really had a fantastic chicken lunch. Andy would have loved it, especially if I was buying. Well done, Suze. That's great news. Alliteration and poetry. Nice. Must have missed that a little bit earlier on. Jeff's in as well. Jeff Owen. How you doing? And rotisserie's on the go again with the Englishman's Saturday night special, the Doner Kebab. Okay, so you've been packing your meat onto the skewer there and building a Doner Kebab. Do you wait until about 11 o'clock on Saturday night, even if you're at home for that, and let the fat drip onto your suede shoes? That's the remnants of a good night out, isn't it? Doner Kebab juice on your feet. On your shoes on a Sunday morning. I don't remember eating that. That explains it. Too early for a shower. You appear to have... Peter! I said that was quite a clean entry this morning with your straightforward hola, bon dia. Then you have to go and do that, don't you? I will be at the meetup tomorrow. Who else? And what time will it start? I have to plan the trip. Not sure if I'll bring the dogs as well. And Andrew saying, bring the pups. It's all very well for you, Andrew. Like I said to you, people do bring dogs to the cafe, to Nelson's, but therein lies the problem. The dogs, I don't know how well all the dogs will play together. And then, of course, in Portugal, we get the occasional stray nonchalantly wandering past, with its fluffy tail in the air, as if to say, I own the town, which for the dogs on leads can be quite challenging. Your call, Matty. Your call there, mate. Cindy B is in. Hola, bon dia. Oh, we'll have a look at a property. We've got the mortgage lady. Let's look at the property that we didn't show yesterday, thanks to you, Cindy B. That's a good call. And who is this? Is this a rude one or a bit of spam here or something like that? What's going? Oh, that's unfortunate. What a difficult situation you find yourself in. Anadu selling Ewa. I don't know if anyone can help there, and if anyone's clicked on that to see if they can help Anadu. Well, all the best with that, Anadu. Another one, erotic novel entry. I'm going to read this first until I read, so I don't necessarily read it out loud and get myself into all sorts of. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he manhandled his tractor much better than Pete Bleach. That's not difficult. No offense, Pete, but you're quite a noob, aren't you, when it comes to the driving of the tractor? He instinctively knew how to pull the lever. So maybe, nope, I'm going to move on from that as well. Barbecue location booked. Yay! Nice one, Owen. June the 12th for the barbecue. Save the date, everybody. We want a few gumpers along at that, don't we, Owen? For the filming. That is going to be a lot of fun. Now, you might have seen Keith Floyd or your favorite chef who likes to drink whilst preparing food. That's what might happen at the filming of this barbecue. There might be should we call it a pairing? There might be a useful pairing, not just Owen and Garvo, that classic pairing in front of the camera, but pairing of food and drink. What could possibly go wrong? Those immortal words. So June the 12th, further details to follow. The location has been booked, and Owen will let us know where that is. And I'm sure people are welcome to turn up for the filming of that. Jacqueline is here, everyone. I'll come to you in just a moment, Jacqueline. Solar Life Portugal with some, yes, it's an approved and safe message for family consumption for Pete there. Solar Life Portugal, my mind went there with, look, you're all at it now. I have a polish. Look, okay, just stop with your polishing machines and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to be sensible now and talk about mortgages with Jacqueline Moulen, everybody. Good morning to you. What a lovely effect on your screen there, Jacqueline. How are you?
Good. Well, it's just a blur. I think the background just got more boring. So,
well, it looks almost like a 70s photo with a sort of Vaseline effect.
Yeah, you're time traveling.
Yeah, it doesn't take.
Thought I spice it up a little bit.
Well, that's very kind of you. And talking of spicing things up, you were in Brazil at the carnival. It doesn't get spicier than that, does it?
No, I was at a wedding and a carnival together, and I can honestly say I've never been in a better party in my life.
Oh, really?
It was a wedding that lasted for 3 days. That was mixed in with carnival. Oh. Everyone's just dancing and making music and live music and on the beach, bonfires, that type of deal. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That's quite a memory made for the newlyweds there then.
Yes, it's epic. Even for Brazilian standards, that was quite out there. Yeah.
Yes. Brazilians know how to party. That's fantastic. So you had a great time. Yeah. Back at the desk now, though, looking at rising LIBOR rates. What's going on in the world of mortgages, Jacqueline?
The world of mortgages, or the financial world, is always kind of responding what's happening in the world. So if it's getting a bit iffy and sketchy and a lot of conflicts happening, then we see that reflected in financial markets. So yes, we've seen for the first time Euribor and LIBOR then, but it's all connected, going up. And bank spreads are still quite good. So even though I just got an offer from client 1.65 fixed for 20 years. So that's still a pretty nice deal. Despite that financial markets are reacting around the world. We see some effect in Portugal, but not as much yet. Not saying it couldn't come, but at the moment, we're still offering really, really nice products through our contacts.
Well, that's good to know. And I was saying earlier on, I am quite naughty, and I do ask you to predict the future, which you can't, of course, because if you could, you probably wouldn't be sat here right now, would you? You'd be enjoying your lottery win or something like that. Any other indications, though? Any other sort of opinions on this, rather than guidance about what might be happening in the future?
Well, the thing is, I can't predict, of course, the course of the world. So what's happening in Europe is reflective for what's happening in the financial markets around the world, but especially in Europe. We've seen for the first year, Euribor being above 0, which is the highest in the past 6-7 years since I started doing this. It's still hovering around 0, so it's not a crazy high at the other end too. What we see is that banks are still quite willing to lend to a lot of nationalities. Banks are very proactive, trying to improve their products. So I think that on overall, the offering for the non-resident or the expat market is quite interesting.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, sorry to push you on that, but very difficult, very difficult times, of course. I do have a specific question for you, because obviously in times of crisis, conflict, and uncertainty, people head for these safe currencies. And they head to bricks and mortar, of course. So actually buying property is seen by some as a fairly safe bet. They're not making any more land, and bricks and mortar are a very tangible asset. Is it possible? And the other part of the picture, of course, here in Portugal is if you do buy property, there is clearly a market for people who want to come and rent property here in Portugal. Is it possible to get a mortgage from you? Whereby that is the deal, whereby people are borrowing money from a mortgage company. Can they then let it out to somebody else as an investment? Can you find those sorts of mortgages?
I think that what you're referring to is a lot what you see in the British market, where you have special products called buy-to-lets, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing you're referring to, and you can borrow against the property with the only objective to rent it out. That kind of product does not exist in Portugal, and at the same time, there's no regulation in the market yet about that. So banks are quite indifferent about it at the moment, at least the banks we work with. But there's no special product for it, so there's no regulation also. So there's no that it's not just the same as UK reality. So you can buy property, you could borrow up to 70%, more or less, regardless where you're from, and the rental income is yours to have. The banks don't ask questions about that.
Okay, that's good to know. Excellent stuff. Okay, so that might look like quite a good investment for people. Anything else? Any other trends or anything else people might be aware of at the moment? And if you do have a question for Jacqueline, pop it in the chat now. But is there anything else you want to tell us about the market or the mortgage situation for people now?
Well, I think maybe it's interesting to see that when I compare, because we both advise on Spain and Portugal, we see a bit more reaction from the Spanish banks than we see from the Portuguese banks so far. That's my take on it. So we see more increases in interest rates than we have seen in Portugal. It's a daily thing. On a daily basis, we have to send it in, and it's also based on the spread. But the banks are still quite competitive with the rates. It's kind of the general message. I think I'm repeating myself. So if you want to know anything about the Brazilian carnival, maybe I have more stories on that. But no, mortgage-wise. I think what is happening in Portugal, you see a lot of areas are booming. Lisbon is extremely exploding with demand for properties. There's a lot of development going on. So I'm not the property advisor, of course, but we do see a lot of clients interested in that. But for the whole of Portugal, we see really a lot of people from abroad still finding that, for example, one of the reasons people go to Portugal because it's so safe. It's one of the safest places in the world. The weather is amazing. Value for money is good, especially maybe if you come from a dollar reality, then it's you get a lot of buck for your bang, or bang for your buck. I don't know, one of the two, but I think people see that. So the safety combined with the eternal sunshine, or at least the nice weather in general, beautiful nature, friendly people, and still a very good investment opportunity and comfortable to live. Yeah.
Absolutely, well said. Well said. Always
worth
reiterating.
It's very important for people, and it's affordable.
Yep. And if you've got a question for Jacqueline that you would rather not share with us here, you can contact direct JM at mortgagedirectsl.com. Make sure you get that email.
Questions, please.
Not Brazilian Carnival questions. What goes on at the Brazilian Carnival stays at the Brazilian Carnival. Although I imagine after 3 days of partying, it looked a little bit like your screen does at the moment. Slightly
hazy. Okay. Well, I mean, the Brazilians are also very good with anti-hangover medication. So that you actually, the first, like the tradition is that when you go to a wedding, they always print a cup with the names of the married couple or anyone whose celebration you're at, and with the dates. And in that cup, they give you, in this case, a recovery kit for the next day, so you could keep on going strong.
Seriously?
Yes. They're like
a Brazilian wedding has a special commemorative cup and a hangover recovery kit. Exactly. Well, actually, we've already heard what the first step is of recovery. It's like to keep partying. It's, like
that's
most people.
Yeah.
Most people are content with 1 day of celebrations. 3 days. Yeah. After 3 days, you probably need some pretty special measures. Okay. So are you okay just whilst we wait for a question or two to come in, might we have a look at some beautiful Portuguese property together? Here, Pure Portugal Property. It's a nice website, pureportugal.co.uk, I believe, is the website address for this. And this is suggested by Cindy B to our community. Look at this. This is a sort of value you can find here in Portugal. Yeah. This is in Arganil, Coimbra district, near Goiás as well. I always think of the two together, Arganil and Goiás. A 2-bedroom house with 90 square meters, garden with 75 square meters, and fruit trees as well involved in that. 105,000 euros. 2-bedroom house, then property description: small garden, terrace, and beautiful views. House area of 90, covered area of 110 square meters. And the house is in very good condition with all the necessary amenities. It is now used now as a B&B guest house divided into 2 floors. Well, that's interesting. So there's another business opportunity for you there. I won't go into too much detail, but I will show you the pictures because it's rather nice how they do this on Pure Portugal. Look at that view. Isn't that fantastic?
Wow.
Central Portugal,
Yeah.
105,000 euros. Isn't that beautiful? A pool there as well. The pool's covered up possibly there. A games area.
Wow.
Yes, it's really lovely B&B, isn't it? Look at that kind of schist style decor inside there. Very nice kids play area. Oh, this is looking great. It's a lovely holiday home or a B&B as a business there. Oh, I'm liking this a lot. A telescope to look at the night sky there in Central Portugal. Nice bathroom, nice lighting. And another shot. I think they must be the fruit trees outside. So isn't that fantastic? Beautiful. Thank you very much, Cindy B, for that. That is our Casa do Dia. And we like to include those whenever possible. Oh, and people are going to be shouting at me, aren't they? Put the link in the comments. Go. Okay, I'll do that for you. Yes, lovely property there. We do have a question that's come in for you. Rebel Mama's here. Hola, Jacqueline. Are you familiar with mortgages for a vacation property in Spain, similar to buying here? And as you said, Jacqueline, you do property mortgages for Spain and Portugal. Go ahead.
Basically, it's kind of the same story. I think the Spain is a bit more expensive only in the tax area. So Portugal makes it a bit more attractive because your additional expenses on buying the property are lower than when buying in Spain. But the rules, the ideas is similar in terms of the way the banks look at it. It's not exactly, but it's quite close to each other.
There you go, Rebel Mama. Okay, if I have a property in UK, no mortgage, can I get a mortgage using the rental income?
They can include your rental income in the analysis, making to establish if you could qualify for a mortgage in Portugal. If it's the only source of income, I'm not 100% sure, so we would have to look at it. They do like to see and it really depends. I think I've mentioned a couple of times in this show, is it in your tax returns? And I think it is. For the UK, you have to declare it there, which isn't the same. For example, in my country, in the Netherlands, rental income is not tax burdened. So yeah, that's one of the reasons it's a tax haven in the Netherlands. But for the UK, usually you have to declare it. So if it's steady income showing over a couple of years, maybe. But they usually do like to see a source of income, like from employment, self-employment. If there's a second applicant that could be part of the application, that would definitely help.
Useful to get in touch with you to talk specifics. Galadriel, good morning to you, and thank you for that question. JM at mortgagedirectsl.com if you want to talk about that further with Jacqueline here. And from Jack Polly, well, from one Jacqueline to another, if you have a dividend from a pension, can this be used to get a mortgage?
Again, like it's showing annually, you can show it that it's consistent and it's going to go into the future. So that's an important question. Like, is it showing in the official documents, your tax returns, bank statements, etc.? And second, is it something that will continue to be there in the future? So how guaranteed is it as a pledge in terms for the bank to assess that you are capable of paying back the mortgage in the future?
There you go. And just to reiterate your response to Galadriel, yeah, the tax return is quite a useful reference point for you, right?
It's what the banks look at. Like, we have some applicants that come from a reality where you do not have to declare taxes, and we have to look at other statements. But if you come from a reality where taxes are levied, then they want to see the tax returns, and that's the starting point to establish if you can qualify for a mortgage or not.
Okay, there you go. Look at this. Jacqueline is from the Netherlands. I did not know that. What do you do now? You do now. We find out so much about our lovely co-hosts and guests here. And there's some new information for you, Matty. Have a pension too, says Galadriel. So that's going to, I think, probably an email to Jacqueline. And when people get in touch with you, it's worth reiterating this as well. You don't need to go into the whole story right there on the email, do you? There's a better way of doing this. Let us know what that is, please, Jacqueline, if you will.
Yeah, so I wanted to add it to Galadriel. Bon dia, Galadriel. I don't know if I said it right, but you wouldn't have to have a second applicant if you do have another form of income. So pension and rental income together could be an interesting way to go about it, and they could potentially approve it. We've done it in the past. But yes, Carl mentioned an important point. You do not have to write the whole income situation on paper, because I need maybe a bit more details than you could think of. and we have an application form for it. So if you're just so kind to say, hey, here I am, I saw you on the show, and then I'll get back to you the same day with an application form. And then I'm 100% sure that the information I have is solid and complete, and I can actually directly do the analysis and also get back to you in a short matter of time to tell you what the options are.
You see, that's how we know you're from the Netherlands. Straightforward, no nonsense, no messing about. That's that.
Sometimes people find me, like, I realize that I don't consider myself so direct because I'm from the South. So I think, like, I'm not from Amsterdam, where people are, for my taste, quite direct, and I don't see myself like that. But if I deal with people from anywhere else in the world, like, whoa, you guys are, I am direct too. And I'm like, oh, really? You should meet someone from Amsterdam. They're like, you know, they really are in your face. And I'm not even being rude. I'm just being very to the point.
Absolutely. I never said rude. I mean, I love it. I love it.
But it does come across, you know, sometimes, and then people take it the wrong way.
But it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing in this area of life, in this sector, isn't it? Because there can be a lot of fluff and nonsense, can't there? And you just go straight to the heart of the matter, which is fantastic. Thank you from Galadriel. So I think you can expect an email possibly from Galadriel later on. The other question that comes up, of course, you know, not to put too fine a point on our demographic here, but the age limit sometimes for mortgages. What is that? What is that for Portuguese mortgages?
It is actually at 75 with almost all banks. In very rare exception, we'll do 80, but usually 75. So we have to also keep that in mind when doing the affordability calculations. So if you're in your 60s, then it should work, you know, because the term would be long enough in order to make the affordability calculation stick. But again, it depends on income. But anything, if you're in your 70s and you could only have a 5-year mortgage, which not even most banks would look at it, probably the monthly payments would be quite high in order to get it approved.
Yep, excellent stuff. Okay, so one final question from me then. What is a Brazilian hangover cure?
Keep on drinking, as you said.
Right.
Decided to choose your part. No, it's actually to be honest, it's over-the-counter medicine that you can get at any drugstore, really. Because I think one of the explanations I heard from Brazilians, they say, because they have their own rum, which they call cachaça, where they make the caipirinhas from.
Oh, yes.
And they would say that the quality of it is so bad that you need this hangover. Okay. Although, you know, I don't want to offend any Brazilians if you're listening. I know that there's also very good cachaças, but this is one of the explanations I've heard from Brazilians themselves. But it's basically, it's like something with like an ibuprofen or paracetamol, and then mixed in with some vitamin C. And I, to be honest, I don't know exactly what's in it. I've never looked at it. When I felt it was necessary, I did take it, I think, one day in the wedding. Yeah, because it really like 3 days, and the Brazilians really like a party. I like to have a party too. I like to dance, and it's sunny, it's warm, and you're like, oh, everything's fine. And the next day you're like, oof.
Oof, indeed.
Yeah.
And we've turned our back for a moment, Jacqueline, and suddenly 2 more questions. Are you happy to take these?
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything similar to equity release in Portugal, or a loan using my quite expensive property as collateral? I'm 79.
Yeah, I would have to say no. I'm sorry. It's not age discrimination. They have a hard cut at 75, all banks. And then the second, but even if you weren't 79, they do not finance equity release unless it's for a remodeling of the property, and it's not easy to get it if you're not a tax resident in Portugal. And being a resident and paying your taxes are 2 separate things. So if you still receive an income from another reality than Portuguese, and you're not paying into the social security really directly, then you're not considered a tax resident. Although, according to the rules of the of law and by police checks, you're considered like a resident of the country.
Okay, Maxine, sorry, that's not the best of news there. And finally then, Anand Suleiman, hello, can I get a mortgage based on foreign, remote, salary, taxed abroad, plus some freelance work? Possibly, right?
Yes. Yeah, we have quite the remote workers in our mortgage app. I'm doing an application right now for one of the clients, 1.65 approved, and a lot of people nowadays are working remotely. Even as a freelancer, they you usually like to see some kind of contractual income. But again, if it's in the papers, if it's in your tax returns, and we can include it.
Fantastic. The good news for you there, Anan. I remember when a remote worker was a strange guy in the office who never spoke to you. Now it means something completely different. Jacqueline, it's been great. Always good fun talking to you. And we'll see
Likewise.
Loving the background. Save the background for next time. That's fantastic. I think James said that is how some of our community see the world. So come again with the same effect. Love to all the colleagues in the office there at mortgagedirectsl.com, and send an email to Jacqueline, as she said. Keep it simple, jm@mortgagedirectsl.com. Cheers, Jacqueline. Take care and bye for now.
You too. Thank you, Carl. Thanks for having me. Have a lovely morning.
Ciao, ciao. There she goes. Fantastic. And now you know how to recover from a mortgage, Brazilian style. Let me change the banners here. Yes, just very quickly then, jm@mortgagedirectsl.com. And we now go to, where are we going to go? We're going to go to Central Portugal and welcome our special guest, top entertainer, Chuck Wansley. Chuck, good morning to you.
Hey, man. Good morning. How are you?
I'm really well, having a lot of fun this morning, as you may have heard.
It looks like it.
Talking about partying in Brazil. Have you ever played in Brazil?
No, I haven't yet. And I'm going to do that next week.
We got to make that happen, right? I'll come with you. If you need a roadie or anyone, that sounds like a...
No, I'd love to go to Brazil. And I know a few Brazilian people, and they are like kind of extra hot-blooded. You know what I'm saying?
What a lovely way of putting it. Chuck, so lovely to meet you. Suzanne, your partner, Suzanne. And I think she takes care of your business arrangements as well.
She takes care of everything.
Oh, that's good. Isn't it lovely to have a Suzanne?
Yes,
and how about getting Chuck on the show? And I looked at your show reel and I thought I absolutely would love to talk to Chuck. Could you tell us about yourself in your own words? I've described you as a top entertainer. For people who like the big band sound, who like jazz, you're the man. How do you describe yourself?
That's pretty close to it. I've been a vocalist all my life, you know, but I have a background in R&B, funk, R&B, jazz, big band jazz, combo jazz, straight ahead jazz, pop songs. It's just what I've been doing, in my entire life since I was young. So I like to, present what I can to everybody through music. Of course, your guests may not know, not all of them, that music is the universal language. And even if you don't understand what the words are or what the lyrics are, everything seems to, the emotion comes to the people. And that's what I like to give, And I love to feel when the audience can get the music, and when it's in their heart and that sort of thing. So
yeah, beautiful. I think we would agree with you about the universality of music and its ability to touch people, regardless of the language and often the context. And we find that, don't we, here in Portugal, the fado music, linguistically probably impenetrable for most people, but you feel it, don't you? You walk past a fado bar and you immediately know what's going on.
You do. It is extra emotional, Now I don't sing in Portuguese yet. I've only been here. My wife and I bought a house here, and we've been here 6 months. So I'm not quite up with the Portuguese language, but at some point I will try and learn a little fado. But actually, my thing is straight ahead jazz, bringing the American songbook to the rest of the world.
Yes. Well, I do like how you put that. You're not talking Portuguese, or you're not singing in Portuguese yet, and I look forward to that project when it happens. But can we rewind a little bit? Presumably from the United States. Tell us about your early career and who you've worked with and how that's been for you. And what a lovely thing to have been in music all your life.
I have been very, very lucky. Starting in just straight elementary school, of course. I've been, my father was a jazz lover, and he always had jazz on. Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Joe Williams, Ella Fitzgerald. So that's the period when I was younger, I was listening to all that sort of music. as well as the Beatles and Motown music. So I grabbed from all those areas, and I try to develop my own style from that, But deep down, though, from the beginning, I've always been a jazz lover, So after high school, I kind of went on the road, and I went with a touring group called Up With People. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it or not, but that way I got to stay in many, probably 13 or 14 countries we visited, and I got to stay in host homes and stuff like that. So I got a real feeling of the country and what was going on, the whole, like I said, the whole feeling of all the people there and stuff like that. Hold on, I lost my.
Did you lost an earbud
ear?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. And you have to excuse me. This morning time for me. My throat is like. It's
you know what? Extra credit for you, because I imagine in the business you're in, you're a bit of a night owl, and you're more suited to the later evening. So I do appreciate you getting up early for us this morning.
No problem. It's my pleasure, actually. So, at any rate, I toured all through high school and then college, and then wherever I landed, I ended up creating bands, and New York City, Boston, Massachusetts, Arizona, ended up in California, and let's see, I end up doing a lot of weddings. I became the weddings known as the wedding singer.
Oh wow!
in LA, they were mostly celebrity weddings and stuff like that, So that gave me a core of the Hollywood style of music. So listening to I grabbed a lot of music from listening to old music. Old movies, Hollywood movies, and so I would grab bits and pieces along with the R&B, along with the Beatles. I'm a fan of that older sort of style of Hollywood music, So, I would also do, for instance, channel people like Cab Calloway.
Oh yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I played that character in a vintage band in the Czech Republic. So right before my wife and I came here to Portugal, we lived in the Czech Republic for 6 years.
Wow.
And I was with a band called Original Vintage Orchestra. And in that group, I kind of channeled Cab Calloway, and it became very, very successful there. So it's just one of my characters that I've done from time to time.
That's amazing, because I was talking about you to my wife, and that's the name that came to mind, Cab Calloway. And people can see you, I think, doing Minnie the Moocher as well at chuckwansley.net over
Correct.
there.
That's my website, right?
So do take a look, but not yet, because we're talking to Chuck live here from your Portuguese home. So what brings you to Portugal? I mean, that's the lovely connection here. You're here on the Good Morning Portugal show. You've been in the Czech Republic, and I know you've been you performed in Kiev as well, which I'd love to talk to you about. But what brought you to Portugal?
Actually, my wife, she was traveling. We were living in the Czech Republic. She was traveling. And one of her passes around Europe, she landed in Lisbon, and she went, "Wow!" She loved the energy, the atmosphere of Lisbon, how it looked, and she likes to say all the colors of the rainbow, which is all the different types of people and stuff like that. She told me that I would love Lisbon. Sorry. So we came back to take a visit on our way up north to England, because I go back and forth there from time to time.
Oh,
and one second here.
Do you want oh, you got a glass of water. Fantastic.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord. So at any rate, she said, I'm going to have to visit Lisbon. So I came with her on one of the trips. And of course, I did fall in love with Lisbon. I fell in love with the weather. And most of all the people of Portugal are extremely friendly. you know.
Yeah.
So we ran into listening to your show. As a matter of fact, we listened to the Portugal company, which was Peter and
Yes.
and
Yes. Peter and
Alice.
Alice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we happened to see a segment of theirs. We watched it on your show, and they convinced us that maybe we should check out the central area of Portugal. So we did that, and then
And
we
now
ended
look,
up in Pedrogo Pequeno,
that
little
is
tiny village.
how lovely. How lovely. And can you describe it for us? I don't know if Suzanne wants to join you as well. Is she a front of camera person or not? Because she might have something to add here to the vibe of Central Portugal and Pedrogo Pequeno.
She would have something to add, but she's not a camera person.
Okay, you're right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Because I've
Carl
been
wants to invite you over. She's
No.
shaking her head.
Next time, Suzanne. Next time, Suzanne.
I'm not camera ready.
Okay,
She's not camera ready right now.
But your part of Portugal is fantastic. Possibly a well-kept secret because you've got that fantastic market on a Sunday, haven't you, Pedrogo Pequeno?
It's true. There is a fantastic market.
Incredible reservoirs, and it's just a wonderful and very hot part of Portugal, right?
It is hot, but we haven't experienced that much because we're tucked in this little valley here, and I'm expecting in the summertime it's going to get extremely hot. But right now it's been very comfortable, to tell you the truth. And our home is like right in the center of the village, and it's just like a storybook, you know.
Yes.
And what I love about the most are the people here are so warm, and they're so open, you know.
Yeah.
Once, twice, 3 times a week, I'll open my front door, and there'd be a bag or a basket of kumquats or eggs or lettuce, you know, without asking. And these people are so wonderful. And we've made a friendship, even though I don't speak the language so much. And the reason why we have kind of a relationship, when we first came to this village, and we were just looking at the village because we were looking at homes around central Portugal. Well, we figured we'd be in central because we could go to Porto, go to Lisbon, but it was just a great part of the country. Now, Suzanne is not she's a city girl, and for her coming here at first was kind of strange. She hates trees, you know what I mean? She hates trees, but she's slowly, you know, now she loves the central area and the dam, of course. And so as we were driving in here looking at houses to buy, we came down the little main street, and there was a placard on one of the buildings, and it said Philharmonic or Philharmonic Society. It turns out they have like a marching band, which is 131 years old. And it's always been here for students, younger students, and older folks of the community. And they've always had this fantastic little marching band. And during, 10 times a year or so, they're either marching around the village, or they're doing the walk up to the top of the hill where the church is. I don't know the name of the church again. And but at any rate, I became interested in them. And what happened is I came with my jazz background. I brought my big band music, introduced it to the conductor. And now we've mixed some of my big band in with what they're doing. So they're learning how to play a new style of music. And because of that, we've had a couple of concerts in Certain at the Cultural Center, since that's the center of this region. And so because of that, I've become popular in the village as the, you know, kind of the jazz guy, you know, from the United States. And so it's been quite a great friendship that we've developed here.
So it was a sign. The placard was a sign, and now it's a movie, basically. I mean, this is an incredible story, isn't it?
That would be great. That would be great.
I love it. And you played in Celta at the weekend. How was that?
It was fantastic. It was great. It really, really was. And what we did was I joined in with the not joined in, but I was asked by the conductor of the Philharmonic, not Philharmonic, I'm sorry, the Coimbra um, Conservatory of
Okay.
Music. And he's the teacher of the jazz department. So
Oh,
uh,
wow.
what happened was all the professors, not all the professors, but some of the professors in the jazz department and their best students created this big band, and then they came to Certain. We were invited by the camera of
Yeah.
Certain to perform. So for the entire area, so it was great. It was packed house, and
Oh,
and
lovely.
it's just continuing big band music, which I happen to love to do. So
Well, I think it's so important, and how lovely that is happening here in Portugal. Because I was listening to somebody talking about the revolutionary power of music, and in most decades, there has been, a movement of music associated with social change. We could do
mm,
with that again, couldn't we? And then two things, the revolutionary impact of music, but also the show. And I know you're all about the show, and that seems to have disappeared a little bit. And it's so good that you're bringing it back, Joe.
well, I've been the same person. I've always loved that kind of music, and I was shocked it started to disappear. So I've stayed the course,
Yes,
and I want to keep this sort of big band sort of style music going. It's kind of like a dying art, so that's my job, however, because you've got such a large amount of people on stage, financially, it can be challenging,
it is. It is
so,
difficult. Yeah, yeah, I get it.
but those of us who grew up with this sort of music and want to continue it, it's about coming from the heart, and uh, it's not always about the money. It's about giving this show or an experience to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, with orchestras, classical orchestras, and big
Yeah,
bands, when you experience it for the first time, you understand why this should be preserved and why everyone needs to experience it. Because you just it's just another level, isn't it? You hear these incredible recordings, but when you're in the presence of a full orchestra or a big band, it, like you say, it gets you straight in the heart, and you think, why doesn't everyone else know about this? So I do thank you for
exactly.
preserving and promoting this and coming to Portugal and do this. And let me say, we'll do all we can to promote and support what you're doing. So always keep us informed of any gigs you're doing.
I will.
Coimbra sounds like he's not too far away from Pombal. I might be able to go to one of his gigs in the near future. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Welcome to the chat rooms, Chuck. I love jazz. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel. Looking forward to listening to some of your music. You will be playing again soon, I hope, in Portugal. Have you got any dates?
I do, as a matter of fact. One particular date, though, is going to be really exciting. For me, it's exciting. It's not until July, and it's I have to. I don't know if I can pronounce the word properly in Portuguese, but it's the gastronomy festival in July in Certain. It's one of their
Okay.
biggest festivals each year, between the
Uh,
14th and the 17th. And
yeah.
I'm going to be on the 16th, and it's outdoors, and it's going to have the Orchestra Jazz de Porto. They're one
Oh,
of
wow.
the, yeah, if you know of them already, they're one of the top tier big bands in all of Portugal. They're going to be doing my music, and you know, they're coming down to Certain to perform. So I'm
This is
looking forward to that.
such good news. So the 16th of July, you say, and
16th of July.
what a place! Certain is a beautiful town, isn't it?
It
You're going to be
is. It is.
near the river there. I went to a beer festival there a few years ago. What a lovely place! So much to enjoy there. Not least yourself and the Orchestra Jazz de Porto. 16th of July. Get that in your diaries, folks. Capricorn
Please
12.
do.
I'll be a big fan of you as
Invite
well.
everyone, and there'll be lots of room because it will be outdoors.
Oh, it's what a lovely invitation. Thank you, Chuck. Look at this. Algarve, Portugal Soul Weekender, May 26th to May 31st. Shalimar and
Oh,
even Champagne King playing in Portugal as well. Something amazing is happening in Portugal right now, and you're part of it,
that
Chuck.
looks great.
Yeah,
That
look
looks
at that.
great.
That's fantastic. Jeffrey Daniels, Howard Hewitt, and Carolyn Griffey. will be, of course, making up Shalimar there. A night to remember, pardon the pun. So Kiev, you have a Kiev connection as well, is that right?
Yes, I do. And unfortunately, because of the situation in Ukraine, I can't perform there anymore, but I've performed there a numerous amount of times. I have a lot of best friends who are there, and it's strange because I'm completely cut off from that now. And I have a date. I have a date to go, supposed to go to Russia to perform there as well in the Tchaikovsky Hall with the Russian Philharmonic, and that's I can't do that as well. So it's a shame that we can't all figure it out in the world. Absolutely. And Absolutely. As soon as this campaign is over, the better.
Absolutely.
I feel really bad for all those people not involved, but who are being infected, who are affected by the war.
Yeah, and hopefully soon we can come back to that connecting power of music that we started out with when we first started talking on this interview, Chuck.
This is true.
It's so lovely, so lovely to meet you. Check out Chuck's music. Just talking about it doesn't do it justice. Do as soon as the show is finished, do go over to chuckwansley.net. Enjoy and have a great life here in Portugal. Great choice, I have to say, Chuck and Suzanne. Central Portugal there, and the renovation going quite nicely.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, it's we're on Portuguese time, so you have to to be patient. If you have people working for you, So, but we are doing that, and I'm enjoying the process. We're doing a lot of the work ourselves, as well as some great craftsmen that we found here in the village, and we've knocked down walls in our house.
You're a Renaissance man. You can sing and entertain and knock down a wall as well. Chuck, so delighted to meet you. I hope we get to
you too, Carl.
Shake hands in real life. That gig in Celta, 16th of July. Check it out. But do go, folks. You won't be disappointed to see that.
No, you won't.
Beautiful setting and the amazing talent of Chuck Wansley there and the Orchestra Jazz de Porto. Delighted to meet you. Lots of love to Suzanne as well. And I hope we see you on our screens sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Carl. And keep doing what you're doing. It's great.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. Take care. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now.
All right, ciao. Bye-bye.
There goes Chuck Wansley. ChuckWansley.net. What a star. What a lovely influence man to have here in Portugal. Look at that. Shalimar in the south, May 26th to the 31st. I don't suppose they're performing every night, but Evelyn Champagne King, legend. Shalimar, legends. And Chuck, legend, in Celta on the 16th of July. So do seriously go to that and visit that part of Portugal if you haven't done so already. Chuck, I have a request. Sing. Too late, Chris. We'll tune in next time when Chuck's on and you can make your request. I love the white wood and simple background. Yeah, lovely home as well for the Wansleys there in central Portugal. Superb. Okay, so we're going to hang out for the last 15 minutes or so and have a look at some Portuguese news, this being Consumer Tuesday. And yes, Chuck mentioned there, Peter and Alice, you'll find them in our business directory, the Portugal company who help people. They're buyer's agents who help people buy and rent, actually, in Portugal. The central part being a specialist, an area of special interest to the Portugal company, although I think they can help you out all over the country. Marvelous. All right, let's have a look at this. Some of the news that's come up. I don't know. We could do this by request. And wasn't it lovely to look at that property as well that Cindy B recommended? Our Casa do Dia today was over that kind of way, not quite as deep and central as where we will find Chuck, but Argadil and Goish, that link to the Pure Portugal listing there, pureportugal.co.uk. We have a number of stories. One of these was written by our mate, Doug. We could go there if you want to. Visiting Portugal the hard way. Deco calls for a healthier lifestyle. They should do that, actually. It's a consumer story, isn't it? We've also got Give the Atlantic from the Portugal News a round of applause. The introduction to that is sometimes we have assets we really talk about and rarely even consider. One of those assets, I believe, is the Atlantic Ocean. This is by Paul Luckman. The man behind the Portugal News, I believe. Clean, tidal, and gives our award-winning beaches that extra sparkle, not to mention the best fish. So shout out for the Atlantic. We could go there as well. And the other article from the times.co.uk in Her Majesty's Britain. Oh, I don't think we're going to be able to read that, are we? Because as soon as you start reading the first 2 words of a Times article, doesn't it want to charge you? It's staying on the screen for the moment. And that will be a lovely article, Slowing Down in the Alentejo, Portugal's most relaxing region. When was that published? May 21st, last weekend, the day that Chuck played in Pedrogo, in Certa. Forgive me. Okay, so oh, and something from Jack Polly as well. Portimao on Instagram. I might have to give you this Instagram link myself. What is it about Instagram that doesn't like you sharing anything? It's also in Portuguese, which is adding another dimension, but it is Portimao Oficial, and it is the Instagram page of the Portimao Camera. And there's something going on there. So what I'm going to do is put that link in there. If you're interested in Portimao, I suspect you should check this and make sure you're following the Camera on Instagram. But things happening in Portimao. I do notice a kind of upswell of civic goings on in Portimao. There it is on the screen for you now. But I'm going to take you back to Dougie. No, I'm going to go to that a Deco article. Let's find out who Deco are, with them calling for a healthier lifestyle. Let me bring that onto the screen so we can talk through it now as we hang out for this last 10 minutes or so here on the Good Morning Portugal show on this Consumer Tuesday morning. Anything else you want to talk about, do put that in the chat as well. Where are we? Deco calls for a healthier lifestyle. Let's have a read through this, shall we? And we'll come back to the chat in just a moment. Deco, then, who are these folks? Deco PS Lifestyle, Positive and Sustainable Lifestyles, is a new European project in which Deco is taking part. Who are they? Every day we make choices about our lifestyle, travel, food, consumption, or entertainment. As a result of these daily choices, each of us is responsible for 72% of global greenhouse gas emissions on the planet. Each of us? What? That can't be right. That must be a slight misunderstanding. Oh, and this is an advertising piece. Let's carry on then. Let's see what they've got to say. Climate change is on the agenda. In this sense, PS Lifestyle aims to promote positive and sustainable lifestyles. We believe, says Deco, that it is necessary for each citizen to reflect and talk about it. Well, that's what we're doing right now. In addition, adapt a sustainable lifestyle to consumers' preferences and possibilities. This project aims to reach 4 million European citizens, creating a citizens' movement for sustainability. Let's all create a big movement together with special focus on 4 sectors: housing, food, mobility, and consumption. Actually, it is a useful conversation to have for sure, isn't it? And we talked to Revive, didn't we, the other day about eco housing. I think we tip quite the nod towards sustainability and homesteading when it comes to food of those 4 sectors. Mobility, electric cars, we're well represented here, aren't we? And consumption, maybe an area for improvement there. With this initiative, a space for citizen participation was opened with the promotion of 6 living labs, inviting all consumers to be part of this inclusive co-creation for a better and more sustainable life. Well, let's find out how you can get involved with this. If there is that call to action at the end of this article, you might have to look it up if I just give you the link to it. Let me just make sure you've got that in the chat. I'm intrigued myself. I don't know if you are. Those workshops, which in Portugal took place on 30th of April and 7th of May. We may have to go into the next round. The Hayden Space in Santa Apollonia, Lisbon, contributed to the improvement of the online tool PS Lifestyle, which is a tool aimed at helping people become aware of their impact on the environment and support changes in our daily behavior, they said. I think we're probably a little bit ahead of the game here. No offense to PS Lifestyle, but I mean, these are preoccupations of everybody, I'm sure, in our community here. And I think the thing with so much of this sustainable living and transforming our lifestyle to being more sustainable, more ecological, we all know what to do, don't we? It's just that we need a groundswell. And I think government support of doing such a thing. I know a lot of people here are doing it, and you have to, don't you? You have to do it independently as well. But it's kind of difficult to just have a unilateral outbreak of sustainability. It's not probably the best way forward. So no disrespect to PS Lifestyle, but what are your ideas for how we bring into action the things we know we need to do, but can't quite get there because of the ruts that we're already in the bigger conversation of society, the way it's headed, the so-called business as usual. Let me know what you think about that. I think I'm going to go to Dougie's article next, visiting Portugal the hard way, and have a little read through that. But before I do that, check to see that I'm up to date with all your comments here. I think a lot of the earlier comments were questions for Jacqueline at mortgagedirectsl.com. I think they were. Oh, I didn't say hello to Kate this morning. Bom dia, Carl y amigos from St. Catherine this morning. Oh, and some full disclosure. What's this about then? Not sure I could make it past midnight the first night. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the Brazilian wedding, which is not a euphemism. It actually was a Brazilian wedding. Michelle is here with a bon dia for Rebel Mama, and I'm sure to everybody else as well. Oh, Pete had to go and fiddle with his knobs on his tractor. Interesting mortgage info. We'll have to rewatch later. Have a great Tuesday all from Pete. And Andy went off to do some carbon fiber work. I shall be back. He's another skilled fella as well, isn't he? Another Renaissance man in our midst. Very good morning to you, Carlos, from Michelle. Good morning to you over there in Oz. What's it like? You've got a new leader, haven't you, in Australia? How's that affecting things for you, Michelle, and your Aussie country men and women? Never obligatory. What's that? And always happy and fun to say hey to Dad. Yes, sorry, not obligatory. Habitual and positive there. Okay. Any other comments? If I've missed your comment and it was important, please reiterate it, repost it. Bon dia, Healthy Move Portugal and Solo Life Portugal from Antonio F, and I'm sure to everybody else as well. Suze, I was using multi-lane roundabouts wrong. I was staying in the outside lane. Got honked at only honked at and not pranged, fortunately. The name changing slug explained how to do it. Much calmer on the roundabouts now. Yes, you take the middle way, do you not, if you're going straight on? But the jury's still out on that, and it's not that everybody does the same thing. That's the problem on roundabouts. So sorry that I'll miss the barbecue, Owen, says Suze. We've got a date. I don't think the actual venue has been announced yet, though. And congratulations, Suze, on selling your car. We're all with you, Suze. Oh, I have a buyer. Deal not done till Thursday. Test drive and paperwork sent to Finland. Fingers crossed. Apparently, it was my idea to contact Finland. I think I probably borrowed that from someone else, to be fair. But it is a good idea, isn't it? And that seems to be going in the right direction. Yes. Straight to airport after that, then, says Suze, with dog, kennel, and 3 oversized suitcases. Let's see, what else have we got? Oh, good. What's this? That's better than 90 days. Is that what is that? Once we applied, we got appointments quickly and licenses in the mail within a month. Okay, driving license exchange. Good news there. Unlike a T-Ducks story with that. Thank you, Chris, for the news about the Soul Weekender in the Algarve. And of course, don't forget Chuck's gig, 16th of July, Certa. Another erotic novel entry. He loved her assets and never missed an opportunity to tell her. And don't miss that. Life's too short to miss those sorts of opportunities, isn't it? And where are we? I think we're up to date. It was a carbon spoiler for a race car. People sending pictures to each other, I think. The carbon fiber job looks fantastic. And the Venus Project's vision and action is all about solutions and sustainability. Thank you for that, James, as well. What's this from Rebel Mama? When things are different for us, we call them the mysteries of Portugal. The hashtag MOP. That's really good, isn't it? And laugh. Eventually, what you need gets sorted out. That's the life. No, hey! Very good, Rebel Mama. I do love that philosophy. The mysteries of Portugal. Enjoy them, folks. I spent 3 hours at a Dubai bank to open an account as a non-resident. I said to myself, I could do this, then I could handle. If I could do this, I can handle Portuguese bureaucracy. Yes, it's a pretty good benchmark to be starting with. Okay, let's go to Dougie's piece then in the Portugal news. Actually, I'll do the headlines as well. Before we go there, just so that you know what's going on in Portugal. According to the Portugal news, let's go there today and their headlines. Portugal, home to 2 of Europe's top hidden gems. 11.8% of GDP spent on civil service salaries. Interesting. Getting rid of a load of civil servants, I think, back in my native UK. Is that the right thing to do? Monkeypox investigation into link to parties in Canary Islands. Ooh, I'm noticing a trend here. VAT on menstrual products to drop to 6%. Why have any at all would be my contribution to that. Unemployment down to 3.6% in Portugal, and free COVID-19 tests with prescription. Yeah, I went into a pharmacy actually a couple of days ago. I was given a mask to put on, so masks seem to be returning. here in Portugal, certainly in pharmacies, or in that particular one. Maybe I shouldn't generalize in that way. The big bridge closure, I don't know when that's happening, but I should probably tell you that. The Vasco da Gama Bridge will be closed to all traffic from Tuesday to Wednesday from midnight tonight until 6 in the morning. I may have saved you some stress there. So tonight, the Vasco da Gama Bridge, not the 25 de Abril, but the Vasco da Gama Bridge will be closed to all traffic from midnight tonight until 6 tomorrow morning. As an alternative, use the 25 de Abril Bridge in compliance with the restrictions imposed on this crossing, namely for the transport of dangerous materials. Oh my goodness, what's going on over there? No rubbernecking, please, over there. So there's your headlines from the Portugal news. Have I missed anything? Portugal will feel climate change effects most. Hold on a minute. I can't just read you that headline and not go there. Oh, and another story, which I think many will agree with. Portugal needs to overhaul tax system. That's a Consumer Tuesday story. Sorry, Doug. Portugal will feel climate change effects most. I think I need to share this with you, don't I? Let's see. Let's find out, and then let's see what we can do about it. Probably refers to the earlier conversation we were having. Okay, staying with the Portugal news then for this. Let me make it sure you can see it on your screen as well. There you go. Technology holding up quite nicely. Thank you very much to the gods of technology today. But not you, Microsoft, causing me trouble with your authenticator early this morning when I'm just trying to go about my business. Anyway, enough said about MS. Portugal will feel climate change effects most. The Minister of the Environment and Climate Action, Duarte Cordeiro, has warned that Portugal is one of the countries that most feels and will feel the effects of climate change in Europe. I wasn't aware of this. Portugal is, across Europe, one of the countries that most feels and will feel the most of the effects of climate change, extreme phenomena, and rising water levels, said the minister. Of course, we mentioned the Atlantic before, didn't we? Duarte Cordeiro stressed that the entire coastline will require permanent, vigilant, and persistent action to recharge beaches, replace the dune system, and maintain coastal defence structures. The minister recalled that important investments on the coast are already planned, with resources for European funding of 143 meters, is this, of which 118 meters have already been approved, and around 77 MEs, is that meters, have been executed. No comments as yet. We do like the comments there in the Portugal news, don't we? Okay, so that's that. Portugal feeling the climate change effects most, and presumably as well with temperature rises in Alentejo and central Portugal as well. Can all do our bit, can we not? And so I also wanted to share with you, what was that other one? The tax overhaul of Portugal as well. So let's see what's being said there. Opinion piece, or is this coming from the heart of the government itself? This from, where does this originate? TPN Lusa. Okay, it's a Newswire story via the Portugal news. Let me bring this onto your screen as well, so you can enjoy this suggestion of the overhaul of the tax system here in Portugal. Okay, bringing that onto your screen now in the last minutes of the Good Morning Portugal show with me, Carl Munson from expatsportugal.com. Oh, are you a member? Let me reiterate with you there. Join the Expats Portugal community, free membership and helpful forum. The basic level of membership is free. Go to expatsportugal.com/community and then find out what the benefits are of either getting premium or premium plus benefits. And those of you premium and premium plus members might like to say in the comments what you enjoy about being on that level of membership. Okay, Portugal needs to overhaul the tax system. The European Commission, the EC wants Portugal to simplify the tax system, increasing the efficiency of the Tax and Customs Authority, the AT, the portal, right? And reducing the administrative burden on taxpayers. This is one of several suggestions that the community executive has passed on to the country in the country-specific recommendations released under the European Semester Spring Package. I bet that's an exciting document. Slam that on the table of bureaucrats. So here we go. The European Semester Spring Package. That's an erotic novel entry, isn't it? The European bureaucrat placed his package on the bureaucrat's table. In the in tray, it improved the effectiveness of the tax system and the social protection system, in particular by simplifying the two structures, strengthening the efficiency of the respective administrations, and reducing, this does sound like a report, does it not? Doesn't translate well to a news story, of the respective administrations. It's going into Charlie Brown, isn't it? And reducing the associated administrative burden, writes the European Commission, in the recommendations it dedicates to Portugal. In the same document, in its analysis of the Portuguese tax system, the community executive highlights the discrepancy that exists between the IRS withholding tax made every month on wages and the tax that the taxpayer actually had to pay, calculated annually in the IRS settlement. Direct tax withholdings are often too high, leading to considerable refunds in the following year. It's a saving system, everybody. Refunds too high as well, apparently. At issue is the degree of adjustment of the IRS withholding tables, the rate applied to the salary every month to the IRS levels. Yeah, that's got to hurt, through which the annual tax due in the IRS adjustment in April of the following year is calculated. The government has been adjusting and the withholding tables, but there are those who argue, namely the European Commission, that the discrepancy remains too high. I'm not going to read any more of that. One of the subheadings is complex laws. And probably we don't need to go into complex laws right now at 1 minute past 10. But check it out for yourself at theportugalnews.com. What a fantastic show it's been today. Talking to Chuck, talking to Jacqueline, of course, talking among ourselves. Robin R., final comment there. Bon dia, US citizen, currently in France, coming to check out Portugal soon. Now, there's just to look forward to. Thanks, Chuck. Always enjoy your show, Carl. Thank you, Robin R. Yeah, I'm so glad to have Chuck on this same ground beneath my feet here, and looking forward to him performing one day, to seeing him perform. That CERTA gig, I think, will be amazing. He realized another erotic novel entry this morning, quite a glut of those. He realized that he neglected to tickle the like button. Yes, that's if he could find it in the first place, right? Cindy B, Gumpers, fondle that like button for this informative show. What's this? There is a problem, apparently, with carbon fiber regarding sustainability. What I've made will still be carbon fiber. Well, everything's going to be around, isn't it, in 10,000 years' time, but just in a different form. Don't stress yourself too much there. I'm sure you're following the right protocols, notwithstanding all that we've said before about sustainability. What's this? Dubai has been nice so far, but until I become a resident, I can't have internet, utility, or a checking account. My goodness. So far, everything is on my brother's name. So you're not in New York anymore. You're actually in Dubai. I need to keep up a little bit better, I think, with you. And Moaz, please don't believe the Portuguese bureaucracy. It's called Mysteries of Portugal. Hysteria. It's entitled, privileged, and untrue. Just think of us US bureaucracy. It's much worse. Well said. Thank you. And especially for immigrants. A nice one, Rebel Mama. I much preferred the end of yesterday's show, says Pete. just like Andrew Gilchrist, it had a quaint 1990s feel with similar tech. It sure did, didn't it? Slightly browned computer cases and 5 3/4 floppies, Pete. And who doesn't like a 5 3/4 floppy first thing in the morning? I think that's just about it, everybody. Carbon fiber, yes. Humans, probably not so much. Come on, James, don't be like that. My like was number 5 while we're talking about it. Come on, people, we could do better than 5 likes. It's okay. It's quality and not quantity that counts. But you have to say that when you don't get many likes. See you tomorrow with the doc, with Comrade Thompson. Tomorrow on the show. Vitor on Thursday. Our man in the north joins us on Thursday. I wonder I'd never know what he's got in store for us. He's not been feeling so well, but hopefully fine by Thursday. And Mia and Frank, of course. Frank on the show on Friday. Going to be a lot of fun. Last word then from 3 Ps in the pod. Bons senhores do dia e senhores grande show maravilhoso. Thank you very much, Antonio F. Nice one. I will see you tomorrow for the show. Take care, have fun, and ciao for now, my friends. Where's that exit video? Oh, it's right here. Ciao, ciao.
See all the silverbacks, see them?